All right, so Donald Trump was talking to Mr. Bill O'Reilly, and they were talking about the vaccine, and he basically outright told his supporters, "Hey, you're playing right into their hands when you doubt the vaccine. Take a look at this video. I actually think it's quite amazing, and then I'll talk about it."
But look, we did something that was historic. We saved tens of millions of lives worldwide. We, together, all of us, not me, we got a vaccine done, 3 vaccines done, and tremendous therapeutics like Regeneron and other things that have saved a lot of lives. We got a vaccine done in less than 9 months. It was supposed to take from 5 to 12 years. Because of that vaccine, millions and millions of people. I think this would have been the Spanish flu of 1917, where up to 100 million people died. This was going to ravage the country far beyond what it is right now. Take credit for it. Take credit for it. What we've done is historic. Don't let them take it away. Don't take it away from ourselves. You're playing right into their hands when you sort of like, oh, the vaccine. If you don't want to take it, you shouldn't be forced to take it. No mandates, but take credit because we saved tens of millions of lives. Take credit. Don't let them take that away from you.
Okay, so the president made news.
Do you agree with that? Right?
Both the president and I are vaxxed, and did you get the booster?
Yes.
I got it too. Okay, so.
Don't. No. That's all. There's a very tiny group over there.
Okay, so first of all, let me say this before I get into my commentary. I know a lot of people don't like Donald Trump, and you have very, very good reasons not to. I don't like the guy at all. I think he's terrible. His policies were atrocious when he was in office. He was a horrible president. And I don't know how well this will go over with those of you that may come across this video that don't like this guy, as well as the few that tune into my videos here and there. But allow me to say this. What you just witnessed was absolutely brilliant. It was brilliant. See, it really was. And you have to give credit where it's due. You know, I thought that Donald Trump had lost all of his political instincts. And for the most part, I think he has lost a large part of them. When he ran for president in 2016, he had a message. Whether you like him or not, you have to admit he did. He railed against the establishment. He compared Hillary to the establishment. He said that he was the guy of change. He was going to come in and do stuff for you, for me, for the American people. Now, needless to say, he didn't do any of that. He cut tax for the rich. He deregulated, all the rest of it, the typical shit that a Republican politician would do. But he had a sound message that got him into the office, right? And when he ran against Joe Biden in the most recent presidential election, it seemed as if that message was gone. And he was just a typical Republican, comparing Joe Biden to a communist, a socialist. He's too far left. And, just playing the culture war game, saying he was going to abolish the police. Now, we know who Joe Biden is. He's a moderate Republican that called himself a Democrat. He's the author of the crime bill. We know he's no commie. He's no socialist. We know who this guy is. And so none of that stuff went over. And also, he mishandled the fuck out of COVID. And people were just ready to get him out of office. And so the 2020 presidential election was an anti-Trump vote. And that's essentially how Biden got elected. But nevertheless, that's not what this video is about. This is about the fact that this is a guy who I had recently thought lost all of his political instincts. Those instincts are rearing its head again. Look at what he does. So, look, Donald Trump's biggest accomplishment, in my opinion, was, in fact, Operation Warp Speed in getting the vaccine out and getting it made and getting it out to the people so they can get vaccinated. And when he's asked about his biggest accomplishment, the first thing he'll bring up is, oh, well, we cut taxes. And of course, what that brings to mind is his 2017 tax cut bill. Well, Donald, now, of course, he's incredibly corrupt, so he doesn't care about any of this, but 83% of the benefits from that tax cut bill went to the top 1%. They didn't help you out. They didn't help me out. They didn't help regular people. It made life worse for them. Added trillions of dollars to the debt and the deficit, something that they claim to care about. But of course, when it's cutting taxes for him and his buddies, his rich buddies, and the CEOs and the business owners, not small business owners, of course, but the owners of the big corporations, they're fine with adding trillions of dollars to the debt and deficit. But that's neither here nor less. That's what he'll say is his biggest accomplishment. But in my eyes, a regular person with common sense, his biggest accomplishment was the COVID vaccine. He really sped up the process, got it manufactured. As he said there, they say it takes 5 to 12 years. He had it ready in less than 9 months. And I think that that's something that he should say much more often. And look, I'm a lefty, all right? I don't want to see him back in office. As I said, him as president was atrocious. But, I also tell the truth. And getting the vaccine manufactured as fast as he did was incredibly great. And it did in fact save lives. Now, what he's doing here is him, although to a lesser degree, because he's actually been quite consistent in saying that, you should take the vaccine. I recommend you take the vaccine. I actually made a video a while back about him saying that, and he got booed at a rally, which was insane. But the Republicans and the conservatives, they're more so anti-vax than many Democrats are. And so what you see is Republican politicians and these, Republican social media figures online on social media, they'll walk this fine line of, not trying to promote the vaccine or mask while throwing red meat to their base who are genuinely anti-vaccine. And what Donald Trump is realizing here is that, wait a minute, I'm the guy that got the vaccine manufactured as fast as it was. This is my accomplishment. And you guys are against that. We can't have that because he said everything but he's going to run again. And if he does run again, that's something that he's going to need to run on. Like, wait a minute. I got the COVID vaccine for you guys. You should go vote for me. I saved your grandma. You know, like he's realizing this, and these are these political instincts that are rearing their head once again. And honestly, it's magnificent. He says, take credit for it. We did it. You see what he's doing? He's framing it as, look, it's us. We saved the country. And that's a sound message. And I guarantee you it's going to resonate with them. And if he keeps doing this, if he keeps espousing this type of message, you're going to see a shift where these people that are anti-vax and like, I don't know about the vaccine, they're going to start going, well, we were the ones that, did it. They're going to become the biggest supporters of the vaccine. And honestly, I'm all for it if it makes more people go get vaccinated. Now, my favorite part of this is at the end. When Bill O'Reilly is like, all right, so look, we're both vaccinated. And look, Donald Trump hasn't been, trying to hide the fact that he's vaccinated. He's told people that he's vaccinated. In that video with the rally that I brought up earlier, he said, I got the shot. I recommend you get taken, but you don't have to. Now, look, what Donald Trump is saying is be anti-mandate, if that's okay, but don't be anti-vaccine. That's what he's saying. You should love the vaccine because we're saving lives here. But I think it's hilarious at the end because Bill O'Reilly's like, all right, we're vaccinated, but did you get the booster shot? And just very quickly, unabashed, he's like, yes. And you know what? I thought that was hilarious because it just gives the game up. It just gives the game up. Now, look, it's not just Republicans. It's not just conservatives. There's an entire anti-vax community. Some of those people are on the left, okay? Look, man, this exposes the game because at least in terms of the conservatives, the Republican base, and many of just the anti-vax community in general, they have been propagandized to fucking back by these conservative commentators online and these radio hosts and these, just these political commentators that talk about things. And those people are genuinely anti-vax. But when you get to those that are in power, the rich, the powerful, people like Donald Trump, a former president, a rich guy, a guy with a lot of influence, they recognize now through all of his faults, he has a lot of problems. There's a lot wrong with the guy. But there's one thing that Donald Trump understands, not just him, but Bill O'Reilly and everybody else in Congress. COVID is fucking real. And these people, Donald Trump in particular, is old as shit. He's old as dirt. He's no spring chicken. And he, as everybody else, his age and like him, has had their fair share of health complications. And they don't want to take their chances with a virus like COVID with their situation. And so you know what they do? They go get vaccinated and they go get a booster shot. You see, if I'm a Republican or a conservative or anybody that's anti-vax and I've been moved to the point of being anti-vax because of these people online that are telling you that their Republican leaders aren't getting vaccinated, I would feel like a fool right now and I'd feel like I've been had. You want to know why? Because you have. Because you have. They recognize that they should get vaccinated because they know when it comes to getting COVID, they might not win that fight. they might not win that fight. You know. Now Donald Trump, he had COVID, I believe, back when he was president, and they gave him everything they could. Remember, they were giving him a bunch of shit that they weren't even sure was going to work. I mean, look, guys, these people, they're deathly afraid of COVID, and they're going to get vaccinated, and they're going to take the necessary precautions in order to ensure that they can continue to live. So I recommend that you do the same. But yeah, I thought this video was kind of hilarious, and it also shows you that his political instincts aren't all the way gone. Now, I do think that he's lost many of them. He's not going to make the same arguments that he did in 2016. Look, I'm not rooting for the guy. I hope that whatever he's trying to do implodes. I really don't want to see him in office again. But you got to call a spade a spade. This is pretty good.